Welcome back to our podcast at Home on the Lake Shore, where we talk about home loans with our local home loan experts at UnitedOne Credit Union. My name is Mike, and this is episode number 17. And I want to welcome back in our experts, Carrie and Julie. Hello, how are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
Hello.
How are
Like
you
to hear
today,
that.
Mike?
I am also doing well.
Good.
We're starting to get that better weather coming in. We're starting to get that glimpse of warmer weather coming our way, and I'm here for it.
Awesome. I love when we leave at 5 o'clock that it's not dark.
I
It's getting
Yes.
lighter
agree.
out. Love it.
That
hmm
makes a huge difference.
Yep.
I have a
Yes,
little bit
it
of a cold, so my
does.
voice is kind of weird today. Don't mind that.
Well, our listeners, they've had to deal with all kinds of stuff from us, so I'm sure that they'll be able to handle that as well, Carrie. So thank you. Thanks for
Sure.
being a trooper.
No problem.
Okay, so before we dive into our topic today, which will be discussing escrow and analysis and that element of home loans, we wanted to get to what some people consider the most serious and important part of the show, and that's Julie's joke of the show.
All right, here we go. What do you call an airplane that can't fly?
Oh boy.
Huh. What do you call it?
Stationary. Like paper stationery. Get it?
Paper
Okay.
airplane.
Maybe
Alrighty.
that
Well,
didn't
folks,
go so well.
Ba-dum-bum.
sometimes it deserves the drums and cymbals, and sometimes it just deserves that like sound effect, that wah wah wah.
The
We're
big
back to
gong
the
from the
gong
gong
show.
Yeah,
show.
the gong. Yeah, out comes the hook and things like that, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
Hey, you know what? We
that's
still
one.
appreciate it, Julie.
that's
Every
right.
episode, you come up with another one. And just for you listeners out there, she also brightens the mood throughout the office, sometimes sharing jokes on Fridays and other things to help lighten the mood with our staff here at UnitedOne Credit Union. So we always appreciate that. I think for the most part, we have a good time working here and having fun with our members and each other here at the credit union, but it never hurts sometimes to have a good joke, even if it's some of them are a bit more groany than others.
Yeah, yeah.
It
All
still
righty.
made us laugh, right? That's
That's
the
right.
important part.
That's right. We're all smiling,
I was just gonna
so
say, you maybe not laugh, but you do have that smile that, oh boy, you'll give
yep.
you a smile.
Mission accomplished.
Yep.
Okay. Well, speaking of missions and a mission accomplished, today's mission for our listeners and the topic that we have is escrow. And when we have certain mortgages that go into escrow or have escrow, and then the analysis around that. So I'll admit my experience in this area is a little bit more limited, but that's why we have the local home loan experts on this show to explain to us more. So Carrie, Julie, which one of you wants to start us off first talking about escrow?
I can start. So every year you have to pay your property taxes, you have to pay your homeowner's insurance. And some people like to pay it themselves, others have it included right in their monthly payment. The nice thing about that is we take care of it for you. Then you don't have to think about it quite as much. But the thing that comes along with that is those numbers don't usually stay the same from year to year. Um, Property taxes can go up or down. We all wish they would go down every year, but they don't. Sometimes they go up. And every year we have to do what's called an escrow analysis to kind of figure out how much do you need to pay that bill by what has changed.
Yeah, so we usually do that in the month of March. Now, every mortgage company is different. That's just what United One has chosen. I know there's other companies that have already completed this. You get a letter in the mail. And what it does is it gives you a snapshot of what is your balance after those taxes were paid or after the home insurance is paid. So at the end of the year, we have an escrow balance after the taxes were paid. That gives you an idea of where was your balance at? Was there enough money to pay the property taxes? A lot of times, especially lately and in the last couple of years, a lot of communities, cities are doing tax assessments. So with those assessments, like Carrie said, taxes have gone up. So all of a sudden now your escrow is short. We always will pay the tax bill if you've elected for us to escrow, or you're escrowing and you're electing us to pay. We'll always pay the full tax bill, but then that leaves your balance short. So then the shortage gets reanalyzed at this time of year, usually in March, and we send you out the letter that says, okay, we're short. This is what we need to do. So we look at the taxes and we look at home insurance every year and say, okay, these are the bills, but this is the balance. But how do we get to that point? We need to increase the escrow, which in result is increasing your monthly payment. So your principal and interest doesn't change. So when you get that letter, it's what's going into taxes and insurance into that escrow account that then causes the change.
So your rate
So
hasn't changed on your mortgage. Your payment
Right.
towards the monies you're borrowing for that home hasn't changed. It just simply has to do with that taxes and insurances that are on there, correct?
Correct.
And then they kind of take, what do we need? Like if we need, say, $500 more, they'll divide that $500 by 12, and then they increase your payment 1/12 each month to cover that difference. Or I know we do, and some other places may also give you the option, if you don't want your payment to increase by as much, to make up the shortage plus to increase it for next year, you can come in and pay that shortage if you want as a lump sum when you get your analysis letter.
Yeah, and then we'll readjust. So if you, like Carrie said, you come in with that lump sum, then we'll reanalyze and say, oh, you've paid the $500 shortage. Okay, let's adjust. Let's reanalyze your numbers and let's adjust this out. And so then your payment may only go up $1 or $2 versus $30, $40. So it's always good to watch the mail and check out the mails that you're getting from UnitedOne or your mortgage lender. It's not just end of year statements, your 1099 or 1098. It could be talking about that escrow analysis. Then when we do the analysis, it will affect your May 1st payment. So if you're having automatic payments come out, that letter is also going to explain to you that if you have automatic with us, your payment will automatically adjust to the new amount. So if you're putting money into a special account or having payroll deducted and put into a different account, you may have to increase that because now we're going to automatically pull the higher payment. Well, if you don't have funds in there, that payment may get returned, causing extra fees, and now your mortgage payment could end up late. So the letters go out, but the first adjusted payment happens for May 1st.
And we do have quite a few people who forget about the letter, and then when they make their May payment, they just pay that normal amount that they're used to paying, and we find that they could be cents short on their payment. So then we try to work on contacting everyone to make sure that they realize, hey, this is the month your payment changes. We need to collect a little bit more, and here's the amount you need to keep paying from this point forward.
So it's always important to watch the mail.
So, folks, if you get something from us that's got our name on there, if you're a member of UnitedOne, it's we're not just sending it for fun. just sometimes we got to send that out there to inform you so that you know, which is always good. But yeah, when it comes to that, so if you're a listener out there, or you're somebody that knows someone that has an escrow, or you yourself have the escrow, it's something that you're responsible for, because it is your taxes, it's your property taxes, to be mindful of that and taking care of those kind of things. I know that the escrow payment makes that process a little easier, but then that's the one thing that you do have to be aware of, is making those adjustments and having that set up that way. So if folks have questions about those kind of things, could they just reach right out to our home loan experts and
Of
try to
course.
find out what's going to set up for the next year?
Yes. So once those letters come out, we have copies of those letters as well. So we can look up, we can walk through and say, yep, this is exactly what this letter is saying. This is your May 1st payment. We see exactly what you see. So when you have questions, reach out to us, shoot us an email, give us a call. We're here to help you. We want you to understand.
Yes, definitely.
Excellent. Are there any other tips or tricks that we could give to our listeners when it comes to escrow, and then how we, go through that analysis, figure out those numbers, and things that could be beneficial to them as listeners to know about with this process?
I would say just, I know a lot of times when your mortgage is set up and it's out for 30 years, you just kind of forget about it. You just know, yes, the payment is going to happen. Yep, the taxes automatically get paid. Maybe just start looking at those bills. How did it compare
Hmm.
from last year or the to this year, something like that. So you're not so surprised. Yep, we do the analysis, but if your taxes have gone up $700 or, whatever, that kind of gets you ready. Okay, this money has to come from somewhere. So if you can
Mhm.
just be mindful, do a comparison yourself. If it's insurance, maybe call your insurance agent. Question why things are changing. Why is, it's good to do a checkup. Always
Mhm.
ask why has things increased? I mean, you certainly can ask the city that. I don't know that you're gonna get answers you like to hear, but you can ask.
Mhm.
But just be mindful of when those bills get paid, what's happening, and in the end something got to change.
And just know that it's not for no reason at all. If your property values are on the rise, you're going to have to expect that the taxes will go up also. Same when property values come down, or if you change homeowners insurance agents to get a better deal on insurance, your payments may go down. They don't always go up. It can go in either
It's true.
direction.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Years ago, that was true. All of a sudden, people had excess money, and that still happens. If you have excess money, I believe it's over $50, we are going to deposit the funds into your standard savings checking account. If it's
Nice.
under 50, it just stays in escrow and builds for next year. But yeah, there are many townships that taxes go down. So that, yeah, like Harry said, we do adjust the downward too. Here we're talking only going up. So we do adjust the downward, and it's your money. The credit union doesn't keep it. It's your money. So we would reimburse you for that. Good point,
Okay.
Carrie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good tip of the day right there. Is if you have not shopped around for your homeowner's insurance in probably the last, I would say, 2 or 3 years, it might benefit you to shop around, maybe get some different quotes or different rates. You might end up staying with exactly who you've got for your homeowner's insurance, but it doesn't hurt to shop around and get some other quotes. You might find the exact same coverage for a little less, save yourself some money there. So that's always a good ruling principle there as well. When it comes to property taxes and things like that, we know we currently live in an environment now post-COVID where a lot of property values have really jumped. And so when it comes to the tax side of things, I'm sure more and more cities and municipalities and things are going to be looking at, reassessing a lot of that property for their tax bases, because of the value of those properties have really altered, shall we say.
Right.
So there's not as much you could do about those kind of things, but the things you can control, shopping around for that homeowner's insurance, which we recommend at least to see if there could be some savings out there. Well, before we wrap up today's show, Carrie, Julie, any final thoughts on escrows or any other tips that you guys can share with our listeners today?
I think we covered it.
Yep. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yes.
You have the experts on your side here at UnitedOne Credit Union. We know that when it comes to home loans, mortgages, all the products and all the intricacies that are behind the scenes when it comes to some of these, home loans and what options that you have, reach out to the experts. That's why we're here. That's the advantage of working with local home loan experts, people that are right here in the community. As you have a human being you can reach out to and say, hey, this is what we're looking at. What's going on here? Or, hey, how should we set this up? Because, we work with folks that also don't do the escrow, and we can explain the differences between those points in the process and what you'd be responsible for if you don't escrow and what you'd be responsible for if you do, and those kind of things. So remember that we're here for you, and utilize our experts. That's the advantage, No, not sure if you'll get that from every other place out there. So thank you very much for joining us today, listening to our podcast. And if you have any questions about home loans, escrow, home equity, any of the other products or services, or anything really having to do with home loans or using the equity in your home or new construction, feel free to contact us and our home loan experts at homeloans@unitedone.org. If you have a question for us, please reach out to us. We'd love to highlight your question and answer it in a future podcast. And if you like what we're doing, we encourage you to give us a like and rate us wherever you get your podcasts. And also feel free to share our podcast with others. You're welcome to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook.com/UnitedOneCU, and we're also on Instagram with @UnitedOneCU. And we look forward to having you join us again for our next episode next month. Until then, take care.